Today, we become legends.
Today's Titan Talk showcased Mercury and some Wukong's models as the next two gods coming to the game and some of their changes for Smite 2, as well as pay-to-win skins, god base model redesigns, and a whole lot more. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already to catch my future recaps as they drop, but without further ado, let's jump into today's recap. First up, Mercury's model was shown with some visual updates. Kilgun said they had some internal discussions about removing the helmet, but they thought it was too iconic to Smite's version of Mercury, so they kept it. They also added the caduceus in various places like on his hip, shoes, and backpack. We'll get to see Mercury in-game and his +1s on Monday. They just showcased the model today. Kilgun did mention that you can now jump while moving though and still get passive stacks, which wasn't the case in Smite 1, and the more crucial extra that Kilgun revealed was that his 1 will proc item effects again, which is huge. Golden Blade Mercury is going to be back, baby. The next god they revealed today was Sun Wukong, who's coming 2 weeks after Mercury and is looking good as well. Not as many model shifts as Mercury because they feel he's already a good design visually and didn't want to over-design him or add too much noise to his model. In terms of gameplay, Kilgun mentioned that he will be a hybrid scaling god in Smite 2 and he scales with intelligence in a unique way that no other god does in Smite 2, which sounds interesting. In scaling definitely makes a lot of sense gameplay wise for him, I think, and some unique way of leveraging that sounds cool. Kilgun also did say that he thinks the rest of the year has a pretty banger lineup of gods in terms of iconic gameplay and visual niches that are yet to be filled in Smite 2, which is good to hear. Ben was on the show today to discuss a lot of art related questions, and someone asked Ben to redesign Hell and he said that she was absolutely on the shortlist initially when they started Smite 2 as a god that needs significant visual updates, so they are going to give her the attention she needs when she makes the move to the sequel. Ben did go into quite a lot of detail on this and seemed to have a lot of specific thoughts about it. Take from that what you will. Kilgun said she's not the next mage, but how much detail Ben went into about specifics made it sound like they've thought a lot about her and she might be coming sooner rather than later. That's not official though, that's just my speculation. There were some questions about Serket and Bastet, and Ben said Bastet is on their list of ones they want to take a closer look at as well when they bring her over, but they haven't thought about it too much yet in terms of specifics. In terms of Serket, Ben said they do want to take a look at her as well, and they like her tier 2 skin more than the base, so worst case scenario, they might take her tier 2 skin and tweak it to make it the base model, but they would like to update the model fully if possible with just bringing in some elements from the tier 2 like the armor. Someone asked how they come up with new skin themes and how they decide which gods get those skins, and Ben said that's such a wide topic, but in terms of choosing gods, they try to make sure there's a fair spread of skins, but of course they do skew more towards popular gods that sell a lot of skins for obvious reasons. They also try to make sure there's something for everyone in a given period of time rather than like releasing back-to-back-to-back sci-fi skins, for example. There was a question of if they'll port all the chibi skins to Smite 2, and Ben explained that the chibi skins have very different skeletons and rigging and animations, which makes chibi skins take a lot more work than a normal skin, to the point where it might have to be like the only skin of a patch or delay a god release just to get a chibi skin, so they probably won't be coming anytime soon with all the other stuff they're working on. Someone asked if they could do Mr. and Mrs. skins for gods that are married in the lore, and Kilgun said they have done some of those, like Hui and Changa or Kepri Mr. and Mrs. skins, but ultimately deep lore skins don't sell very well as only the most hardcore fans are even aware of or care about the lore in that way. One of the few heavy lore skins that did sell well was Bride Thor, but that's most likely because it's more memey and not because it's a lore reference. Someone asked if Ishtar could have her wings in her default model when she comes to Smite 2, and Ben said it's definitely something they could think about, but he said that generally most of the gods after around season 6 or 7 he feels are really good in terms of their overall model, and they will probably just need texture quality updates and not much else. Someone asked if they give Erlangshire a third transformation like Wukong, and Ben said that's really more of a design question. If design decides it will be good for his gameplay and players would like it, then it gets sent over to his department and they'll make whatever animal they want for that. Kilgun mentioned that the flash test for the next major update should be on the UE 5.5 upgrade, which should come with some performance improvements, and the plan is for it to go live with the next update, so hopefully that'll be good. Ben also mentioned that there's quite a lot of UE 5 technology that Smite 2 doesn't really leverage as much as other games. Because of the nature of the game as a competitive, fast-paced action game, they don't really need fancy lumen and nanite lighting systems and massively detailed backdrops because players are too busy moving around and playing the game to even notice a lot of that stuff, and it has a big performance impact, which isn't ideal for a game like Smite where players are competitive minded and demand high frame rates. Someone asked if there's ever been an unintentionally pay to win skin and they didn't realize before releasing them, and Ben said generally they seem to do pay to lose skins more often than pay to win, like the Anubis tier 5 for example, where the final form changes the camera angle and is much larger than normal. Of course, hitbox boxes don't change size with skins, but you can probably see him more easily because he's so large. Also, this wasn't mentioned, but I think the most iconic pay-to-win skin is probably Hebro, as that was one of the only skins allowed in SPL when SPL still banned skins back in the day, specifically because it allows you to see what's going on in front of you a lot more easily than base Hebro can because he's so tall in his base model. And finally, someone asked that if they didn't have a prior fan base with expectations going into Smite 2, would they have done anything differently? And Killian said that's a hard one to answer because Smite 2 only really exists because of Smite 1 and its community, so in a way, everything they've done for Smite 2 is trying to serve those existing players, at least in some way. Killian did say, though, that he feels like a lot of the core changes for Smite 2, like active items, split scaling, and aspects, might have taken some of the blame for why Smite 2 felt so different from Smite 1, when he feels it's probably more on the core things the game was missing when they first showcased it. But that's everything discussed on today's Titan Talk. Don't forget to subscribe to catch my future recaps, and I'll catch you guys for another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.